Guys, welcome back to Walking Away from Lukewarm Living. I'm your host, Zuli, and kind of just to piggyback off the previous episode, I talked about the young men perspective, how it is that they see themselves, the world, what distracts them, all that. And then for this episode, we're going to talk about the young women perspective, the young girls of, the Gen Z. Just try to get to understand how their mind works, what's important to them, maybe some memories that they have. So I'm going to have my two cousins, Audrina and Natalie, features in this episode. So I'm going to have Audrina introduce herself first, and then we'll have Natalie introduce herself first.
Hi, I'm Audrina.
Hi, I'm Natalie.
So, I didn't do this with the boys, but I really wanted to ask you, what do you feel like is something about, not in an egotistical or selfish or whatever way, but like, what do you genuinely feel is something that you like about yourself that you feel like perhaps maybe is different from everyone else, or maybe just gives you that boost of confidence, that maybe is unique to you?
My hair?
Your hair?
Probably. I think, yeah, my hair.
Your hair too? Okay, yeah, the hair is a very important thing to young ladies and stuff like that. So, since, we talk about hair, we're talking about the physical right now. So, we'll just start off there. We'll start off, what people see. So, do you feel like physically that our society, people your age, especially younger Gen Z, puts too much emphasis on, like how you look? And do you feel like it's worse for your generation? Like, is there something that we can do about it, that we should do about it, what we're not doing? Like, what do you think?
Well, it's kind of not good for our generation, I'd say. Especially with, a lot of weight nowadays. Like, a lot of girls and middle school, high school, they have problems with their weight. But it's just, other people making it worse for them. Complaining, making it worse for them, making fun of them or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that, too, because some middle schoolers, some high schoolers, they go through having problem with their weight, how they look, how they fit in their clothes, and it controls their mentality, their self, and then sometimes they push themselves too hard, and it just makes your health go lower and lower and lower. So yeah.
So when you talk about weight, are you talking about the pressure to be skinny? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
so the pressure to be skinny. So the thing is, though, oh, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Even if you're not even if you're skinny, they also, people ask you to gain weight, and then they're still going to call you fat either way. So if you're too skinny, you need to gain weight. If you're too fat, you need to lose weight. So either way, it's just I don't know how to say that.
So what you're saying is that commenting on other people's weights, commenting on the way they look, whether they quote unquote need to lose or gain weight, that needs to stop. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? And do you feel like because of the people who may be thinner and that are told to eat more, you need to gain weight? Do you feel like that makes them feel almost insecure that they don't have as much curves? Mm-hmm. Or yeah. Okay, so here's the thing though, because you guys are both teenagers. The problem with that is that as a teenager, your body is changing. My body was still changing 17, 18, 19, 20, so, and they call you get a quote unquote second puberty in your 20s, mm-hmm. Your face changes, all of that, your body, everything, even the way your body carries fat and stuff like that as you get older. So I do feel like as a teenager, your brain is obviously still developing. You don't understand certain things yeah, maybe this part of my face looks a little crooked or whatever, but that's because you're quote unquote growing into yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe I feel like my nose is I remember when I was a teenager, when I was your age, I absolutely hated my nose. I thought that, I had the biggest nose and stuff like that. And then as I look back, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Looking back at those pictures of myself, and I think wow, I wish I didn't beat up on my body so bad, I feel like that's something you guys still deal with.
Yeah, I think it was with Thea. She asked us what we would get surgery on. I said my ears.
Your aunt?
I said my...
Was just asking us what's something that we don't like and we would probably get surgery on if we were older. I said my ears.
I said my nose for sure. Yes.
But what's so interesting is that this is a way I've thought about it. There's some content creator, she had talked about what makes you the way you look, your physical features, whether it be your ears, nose, eyes, whatever. is a combination of like hundreds and thousands of people before you loving each other enough to like create you. So like let's say for instance like let's just say like your ears, like maybe it's something you don't like, but and then like you look back at a picture of like your dad or your aunt or something, like oh like they had it too, like that is just a definite evidence of your lineage, and then like for your nose, I know like your older sister also has like the nose shape like you, and then like same thing for me, like I feel like my face, I really do favor like my biological father, like him and we look alike, and I feel like that was something I struggled with, even though like quote unquote God made me this way and blah blah blah, it's still something to struggle with. So I kind of wanted to talk about, just to change the subject a little bit, because I don't want to emphasize body image the whole time, because obviously I kind of want to understand. But how do you think you got there? Like the boys, we talked about social media and stuff like that. Why do you think social media is positively or negatively, or maybe even both, affecting body image and stuff like that? And like even just like the way you think about yourself. It doesn't even have to be body image. Like it can be success, like money, fame, like. Is social media the problem? Is it the people? Is it both? Like, what do you think?
I think it's the people, for sure.
I agree. I feel like it's less social media. Like, yes, social media is going to have some of that stuff, but it's mostly the people, who you choose out to hang out with, who you choose to say what. Mostly people.
So you're saying that we as individuals, social media isn't the issue, but rather it's the content and the people that we're following that is reinforcing, making us think the way we do. Because the reality is that one of the boys they talked about, it was Zeus actually. He was talking about like the people that you surround yourself with are going to make or break your personality, like who you become and stuff like that. And I told, I didn't get to mention this on the last episode, but like that's something that I struggled with too. Even recently, like I'm almost in my mid-20s, and that's something that I had to learn, is to walk away from certain people, that isn't gonna allow me to become the person that I need to be. And when you're a teenager, it's the pressure is there to fit in. The pressure is there to be cool, not to be weird, not to stick out. Like, why you doing too much? Like, stuff like that. So I truly do feel like that whole age, adolescence, is just, it's a very challenging time. It's very confusing. But I do want to kind of like wrap this up in the sense of like on a lighter note, to kind of talk about the time before we became adolescents. Like, tell me about like a few things like from your childhood that you think about even now as a teenager that brings you joy whenever you're feeling down. Like, I think that's like a good place to start.
I feel like memories, just like,
yeah, what memories? Like, talk about them.
especially with Natalie and them, like the memories of like us falling off the the side by side, us doing water balloons, us staying up at night, us Damien and Nico cuddling, us doing prank wars, us baking. It's just like the good, fun memories for me.
Yeah, I would say the memories too, because there's some memories that we had that we obviously like did some crazy things. Like we did water balloon sleepovers, prank wars, what else? Jokes. We did a lot of stuff, but yeah, I would say it's about the memories for sure.
So obviously, the way we all came together is through family.
Yes.
Like we're all related. So I want to know, genuinely speaking, what is the number one positive thing that being in this family has taught you? Like, how has it shaped you? Like a positive thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like a good thing about like, us being around each other and stuff like that. Like there has to be at least one good thing. You know what I mean? Like, it could be just the relationships you formed. It could be, like, the way you think about certain things, or the community or whatever. The relationship that you formed. Okay, because I figure that's probably what it might have been. Okay, now this is the harder question, though. Right? And being in this family, what is one negative thing? That you don't have to go into real specifics, but, like, that has really made you think, like, okay, like, this is a negative thing that's in this family, like, that I don't want to carry on. Or, like, this isn't normal. Or, like, whatever.
Drama.
Okay. That's very broad though. I don't want, not necessarily just say, like, you know, obviously drama, that's part of it, but like, is it the way like people talk it out? Would you say it's because of the way people just try to ignore it, like, you know, because that's very common in Latino American families, you know?
Drama.
Yeah.
How would I explain it from our family though? Like, our family, the way that they try to talk it out, but it doesn't end up turning into
Okay, so we need to develop healthier patterns in the future, like as far as like talking out conflict and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And that goes back to like generational things, like, you know, like even like the generation before us, the millennials, you know, they had very strict parents. Like, it was like, I don't want you crying. I don't want you, like, you know, so, and then us as having parents as millennials, like, what do they do with us? The quote unquote, as they call us, the overly emotional Gen Z, the very self-aware, the very, I'm going to put words to how you made me feel. And so I think this goes deeper than our family, though, because I feel like it's like a generational thing that has carried down, that has allowed us and made us feel like, okay, maybe it isn't just us, you know, all families, they don't know how to speak things out properly, but it's through communication like this that allows us to see, you know, eye to eye and saying, you know what, maybe I'm imperfect, maybe the family I come from is imperfect, but I'm going to do better and just build that relationship with each other. Well, is there anything that you guys, you know, just wanted to say or mention or talk about or anything like that before we close off this episode? You know, any last comments or anything like that? You? Okay. No, just wanted to make sure that I got everything. But either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this episode. I appreciate all your time here. And as always, God bless.